Hey, welcome. Glad to have you here. Actually, more than welcome, I think the right word is congratulations. I say that pretty authentically because statistically, 96% of people will never show up to make a change in their lives. And I know those are the statistics, but beyond that, in my practice, everybody comes to me and says, well, I'd like to do something like what you did, or your clients sound amazing. Tell me more about those testimonies. I would love to do something like that. But they never actually show up and get this far along, meaning you connected with me. You've gone through, you've filled out the application, meaning you're thinking about things differently. You're getting vulnerable. You're writing down where it is that you want to be and what your obstacles are for getting there and how you want to transform it. Then you're watching this video. We're getting ready to schedule some time together. Those are very real and tangible actions, which already put you in the elite few. You're the kind of people I would like to work with. And the purpose of this video right here is so that we can honor your time and really have maximum impact when we get to our one-to-one phone call. So we're going to cover some of the nuts and bolts here and make sure that, yeah, you like the thought of working with me and you think you might be a good fit. So we'll cover who would be a good fit, who might not be a good fit, how the system works, and give you a little bit of background in the structure of the coaching. That way, when we have our call together, we can talk about you. We can talk about what outcomes you want to have, what you expect, what the intentions that you have for the changes in your life look like, and how we realize those. You'll have some information about the systems that I like to use, the process that goes into place, the methodology. So again, now you can ask insightful, deeper questions about what's this look like in terms of applying to my life, and better questions for me as well. And I'm excited to get to know you. We're gonna walk through next steps here. I always love starting with a joke. Now, our time together, I appreciate, has some very serious topics. And we're going to do some heavy lifting as we get through all of these different pieces. And we'll get into that here in just a second. But it doesn't mean that we can't laugh here and there. And the reason I love laughing at this joke in particular, A, I'm a pilot, but B, I just think it's a perfect metaphor for what so often happens in our lives. We look out that window and we lose our bearings. All of a sudden, we don't see familiar landmarks. We don't know exactly where we're at, where we came from, what's going on right now, or even which direction we need to head next. That's why we have a coach. That's the whole purpose that we're here today, and we're looking forward to our next calls. But as a pilot, one of the things that we used to talk about in the aviation circle is situational awareness. A big word, right? What it really means is it's the perfect confluence of understanding where we came from. So what's happened to get us to this position where we're in right now? What's going on in our environment around us in this very moment? And with a reasonable expectation, what's going to happen next? So when you have those three things coming together, wow, I really understand what's happened to get me here. What are those things that have happened to put me in this position right now? And then what warning lights are going on? What's happening in my landscape? Where am I in this very moment? And then can I anticipate with a reasonable amount of certainty what's going to happen next? When those three things are in alignment, we've got perfect situational awareness. If any one of those is out of whack, we lose sight. And we can't get to Las Vegas unless we know first exactly where we are at, to use this analogy. But it doesn't matter wherever we're going in life. So if you're looking for your next career, if you're trying to figure out your professional purpose and your life purpose, hey, they're one and the same, right? If we're trying to figure out how to get to those next steps and we don't understand exactly what brought us here and what's happening around us right now and how to predict those next steps, which direction we need to go and how to get there, we're stuck. And we're just going to keep flying around in circles at best or get further lost at worst. And both of those have very negative consequences. Man, especially if we're flying out over the ocean, we want to know where we're going. We want to know how to get there and make sure that we do that with pretty good safety comfort along the way. So here's me. I'm going to give you just a quick background so that you get to know who I am. And of course, you can ask me more questions when we're together. But the bottom line is, I was one of those guys who felt kind of lost. Yeah, I was living pretty much what a lot of people would say towards the American dream, but honestly, it didn't feel all that dreamy. Great wife, kids. I had a good job. I liked my coworkers, my community, but there was something pretty big missing. And I couldn't put my hand exactly on what it was. I used to call it the million straws, because there'd be one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. And what I recognized as my symptoms is I just wasn't able to enjoy the present. I was often feeling anxious or stressed or distracted by what other things I had to do. Another event that I needed to be at, or it might be at a kid's event or vacation, and I was still thinking about work or thinking about another upcoming stress. I knew that something wasn't fulfilling me inside. I didn't feel that sense of purpose in my work. I needed a big shift is what I needed. So we planned a year-long sabbatical with the family to go out and reassess our values, our beliefs, what it was that we wanted to see in next steps. And most importantly, connect to ourselves as a family. And again, I know it sounds a little cliche here, but this is true, to the sense of purpose. COVID hit, so we didn't do the exact sabbatical we were looking at. If you look in this center picture here, we got an RV. I crammed my two kids, our family dog, into this 300 square foot space that we towed behind a truck, and we toured 17 states across the United States, explored ourselves. I wrote a couple books, and you'll see that they're on things I'm really passionate about, like connecting with our kids and relationships and connecting to the spirit of gratitude. A whole bunch of different journals I produced, but most importantly, what I recognized is I started working with other people as a coach. And they were interested in the journey that we were having. How do you do this? Is it something I could do as myself? And a few, like that 4% of people, started coming to me and then referring me and taking massive action in their own lives. And what I really enjoyed is creating a strategy or system for this, because I'm one of those guys that believes you got to have a reproducible system so that it can be done over and over and over again, not just for me, but I can repeat it in my life, make sure I continue to get the outcomes that I expect, and also help other people get the outcomes that they were expecting. And so this is the really cool part. Now I've got a body of data, and this thing works. So this is a client that I'm actually just finishing up with today. I don't know what day you're going to be listening to this ultimately, so it's probably not today in your time. But as of this recording, that he kept using the word stuck. I feel stuck. Wanted a career change, was going through Indeed and LinkedIn, and in our first call together kept saying, I'm just searching through all these job applications. I'm applying to a ton of jobs. There's so many that I could do because I've got this wealth of experience and knowledge and these credentials. But yeah, I could do all these. I'm not getting any response, and none of them actually even feel all that good. Well, we spent 90 days together, and he's now moving his family from Texas to Europe in the most exciting way. In a way that's purposeful, it has intent, it has clarity, it's courageous, but he knows exactly what he's doing. All the resources are aligned. It's set up for nothing but fun and awesome opportunity for him, his kids, his family. What an experience they're about to launch. And I'm pretty jealous at this moment in a very healthy way. This is what's working for him. And it's because of a really cool system that we've just put into our coaching together. So he did all the hard work. This is him moving his family. I mean, he's over there today scouting new homes that they're going to go live in. Their home in Texas is on the market, and it's in action. This is so cool. It doesn't always have to be that extreme of, hey, I'm going to move from Texas to Europe, right? I'm working with another client right now who just didn't know what was next. Do I look for a promotion in my career? I've got this government type of career. It has a big pension. If I just hold out, do I try to go to a different agency where I could still hold on to those benefits? What if I leave my career? How's here? It just stuck, right? And guess what? Flying leaps. Now there's clarity, there's certainty in which steps to go next. There's excitement again. Now that's the commitment of the 90 days. is we're talking about the system to be able to put that plan into place, to be able to kickstart that, which is so cool. And that's happening. And actually, I think we're going to keep working together because the excitement is there. Now we get to be a part of the whole implementation process. So that's next level stuff. But look at, I mean, this isn't a picture of my client, but I love this picture. They said it's like taking a flying leap, but I feel confident and safe in exactly what this leap is going to look and feel like and where it's taking me. Now I got another client here as a favorite testimonial of mine because she's becoming an entrepreneur. Right? Having worked a career in corporate America and so much positive experience coming out of that journey. But to take the risk of now working for yourself as an entrepreneur, I get that one because that's what I've done myself, going from corporate leadership into being an entrepreneur and an author myself. Wow, that's huge. But no longer trading dollars for hours of our time or allowing somebody else to build off of our systems of expertise. I mean, the point is, whether you work for somebody else or whether you work for another organization or whether you decide to do your own thing, that you do it with passion and you feel 10x reward. Like, I'm doing this because it has so much meaning to me. That's the exciting piece. That's where we want to get to in our coaching. And that's what the systems are designed. So I call my system the Spark. And what that means is, in a nutshell, you know how to throw an axe. You've been chopping wood all your career. And you do that in your personal and your professional life over and over and over again, all of the hard work. But we got to get you from just the hard work to understanding how to enjoy the fruits of your labor. That every single day that you go to work, you understand what the outcome will be and that it's enjoyable. And that picture on the right, yours looks that good, or it's your version of that, right? I know why I'm putting in the work and I know why I'm chopping wood here, because this is the outcome that I have. And I live that every single day. So it doesn't just feel like labor. It feels exciting. It has purpose. It has meaning. And I feel fulfilled, at peace, and a sense of freedom that goes with it. And quite honestly, I'm using some words here that when I started out on my journey, if somebody said all that was possible, I'd start probably rolling my eyes a little bit and thinking, yeah, right. Seriously? Yeah, seriously. I'd want to see the proof. Well, the proof is in the pudding. It's also in the system. Like I said, I'm a system guy. I came from aviation. So I believe that checklists are important. Systems and processes are really important because once the right side of the brain knows what we're doing with certainty and it has a formula to follow and the logic is all there, then the left side of our brain is free to create. And we can use our imagination, the inspiration, come up with all of those next level pieces that bring that fulfillment to it. And so the Spark is just a quick acronym for the process that we're going to use. It's a 5-step process. It starts with start. What brought you here? Where are you currently? Are you flying out over the ocean with unrecognizable landmarks? Do you know which direction to head next? Where are we? Where did we come from? Getting really clear on all of those so that we can begin looking at the contrast. I know what doesn't work. I know what I don't want anymore. So now I know what I want. Now I know what direction to go. I know what feels good. I move into that next phase of purpose. Every single step should have intention to it. Why am I moving in this direction? So if I turn right, why am I turning right? If I'm climbing, why am I climbing? There's a sense of purpose. It's heading you in that direction that you want to go. Everyone's purpose is a little bit different. If I asked you your purpose right now, would you laugh at me and say, nobody knows their purpose? Or would you say, yeah, this is my purpose. This is how it aligns with my career, with my personal and professional life. I got a handle on that one. That's where we get to. Now you combine that with your assets. So what are those assets that you have to work with? The people around you. We're not just talking money and resources, although those are a big piece of it. We need to go through, we need to break that down, understand where we are with those, and then where's the support come from? Who else are you responsible for in your life? Where are those obligations? And then how do we turn those obligations into assets for what comes next? And next we get to rise. I almost started to jump ahead of kickoff because that's the really exciting part, but rise is equally fun because this is where we look deeply at those obstacles and understand how to rise above them all. So I'm a big fan of the different visual analogies of what obstacles mean. I always picture people running through an obstacle course and they're jumping over fences and, climbing up over boulders. And you think even about the analogy of a rock in a hard place, right? What are we stuck between? Those are usually two-dimensional. What are those obstacles? Three-dimensional means, wow, I could swim around it. I could fly above it. I could crawl underneath it, like getting open to those different pieces. This is where the real strategy comes in. And thinking about the alignment so that there's a system that you feel good about to say, I've thought through all of these pieces. I know exactly where I'm going. I know why I'm going there. I know all of the resources and assets I've got to help get me there. And now I've got a strategy and a system in place, which allows you to kick off. Now you take the field, you go out there, you have the game-winning strategy. Nothing gets in your way. And that's what we get in 90 days when we follow the system. Now, there are some other pieces to be thinking about. One of them is that I've made my little version of a three-legged stool right here. I hope you'll bear with me. But if all three legs aren't equally balanced, we fall right off that stool. That glass of water, anything we put on that stool just slides right off unless they're equally balanced. And here's what we have to keep in balance. We have to know what our skills and expertise are, because that's one of the really important legs. What is it that we bring to this with our skills, our experience, our education, our knowledge, our wisdom? That has to be a fundamental piece. And if there's anything missing, we got to know to be able to fill that in, right? Or really how to build on the strengths of those. And the second piece is a success mindset. Now, I don't take this lightly. It means that you have to look into the mirror and say, yeah, when I'm heading this direction, I truly, authentically believe that I got this. No doubt in my mind, hell yeah, I can do this. And it's not a fake it till you make it. So anything that we're putting on this stool, like as we hold ourselves up here, it's got to be true and to the core. I know I got this because I've got the right strategy. I've got the skills and experience. Those other important piece right here is the resources around us. So we're talking about time, we're talking about money, we're talking about people, we're talking about the structural support to make sure that all of those are in balance. So some of it is in 3D here, some of it's just in the mind, and then some of it is all of your experience and knowledge and wisdom that you bring to this, but all three of those have to be in balance in order to be able to see you have that successful outcome. So we get into these as we go through our process. So what is it that I bring to you? Three things, really. First is coaching. That's what I am. I'm a coach. What does that mean? It means I'm not a therapist, that's for sure. You don't have therapists out on a player's field. What a coach does is, if I use a football analogy, things are happening really fast. Plays are developing, and you're at risk, man. If that left guard doesn't pick up their block, you're going to get creamed, right? The coach sees things from a different angle, different perspective. And we're not in that moment. We get to stand at the sidelines, maybe we get video from the booth. We can go through, we can see how plays are being developed, where risks are down the field, where opportunities lie that are really hard to see as a player when you're on the field. A coach gets to help create that game-winning strategy with you. Say, well, what if we did this? What if we did that? How do we assemble the right players, the right pieces around you, so that you can go out there and win every time? That's what a coach does. And that's probably one of the coolest parts about my role, is that coaching role. Another big piece of it, though, is support. Because as you go forward, you have to know that there's somebody that's got your back, that's there to help encourage and support you when times are rough. Because, hey, some of this stuff is really heavy lifting. You go out there and live with your purpose. It doesn't mean that all your problems just go away. You get really good at how to solve those from a very creative and structural place, but it's really nice to know that somebody else has got your back in exactly this way. Now, that's not always the responsibility of a partner or somebody significant in your relationship. Certainly, probably not your kids, right? Or your boss or your coworkers. Having somebody like me in your corner is equally important, just to be able to continue to give that support when you need them in that moment where you say, gosh, I'm not sure how this is going to work. I need a little extra help. That's what a coach does in this case. And then the third is inspiration. Now that inspiration ultimately comes right through you. But when you've got a safe space to have conversations, to explore things out loud and say, what if I actually just moved to Europe and took this opportunity? Could we do it? Well, yeah, maybe. Let's talk about that. Let's share those ideas. Bring to me those most extreme dreams. Know that you're in a spot where you can travel down that path and see, is that something I'd actually like to do? Could it actually work? The coulds and what ifs, that's where inspiration flies. That's what allows you to be the very best version of you when you have those three pieces in place, the coaching, the support, and the inspiration. And that's what I work to provide. So I do that systematically, and then I got to just do it with a connection with you. And that's the next part of our conversation together, is to see if we're a good fit. Do we like working together? Do you actually like me? And so you've reached out, you said, help me. Our next piece here is to have a call and see if we are a good fit. And I told you, the people who are a really good fit are those who are willing to be challenged, are highly coachable, and say, maybe I do need to change something. And maybe it's that something that I wasn't sure I could change, or I believed wasn't capable of being changed. If you're coachable, if you're enthusiastic, if you're open-minded and authentically willing to experiment, say, hey, maybe I can change this, you're the right fit. If we're going to talk about different ideas, and I'm going to suggest something like, hey, would you be open to trying XYZ? Now, I don't expect you to do everything that I put out there, right? It's about picking, okay, this one feels good, this one, nah, I don't know. We have those conversations, but if you're going to keep going down the same path and say, well, I just can't. I don't like those words, I can't. I don't mind those words that are, I would like to try something different. Are there other options? Can we explore this? Then that's perfect. We're on exactly the right path. So think about it very carefully. Are you willing to give up something that isn't working for you in order to have something that just might be the ticket? All right, that's it. You guys ready to talk? Let's do this thing. So if you scan this QR code, you'll be able to have access to my Calendly. We're going to set up a half hour. It's going to be a discovery call. I want to learn all about you. I'm going to have the survey in front of me. I'm going to be looking at your answers before we connect so that we can honor each other's time. You get to open up and ask me anything about my program, my methodology, the results that I have, what you can expect. It's your time. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you, to having that time together. Thanks for watching this video. Again, congratulations on showing up. I'm looking forward to talking with you soon.